So for this camp, in any given day, Ryan wakes up and he runs like Forrest Gump. And he doesn't have to, but he does.
How you feel?
Amazing.
He said 7 punches not gonna do it. I said, if you didn't put in the contract that I can't throw more than 7 punches, then I'd throw more than that.
Because Ryan is an elite fighter, he's a knockout artist, among the best fighters in the world today. They want to take every step to try to control the amount of strength he's going to have the next day.
The day you sparring Ryan, just 2 days, right?
Yeah. Just like one day he like forgot his tampon, he just started bleeding all over the place. So yeah. 52 years, bro. And it's in the hood, bro. It hasn't closed down yet. You know why? Because this place is good.
Way more expensive. Ryan's fast as shit. Ain't nobody gonna say Ryan's not one of the fastest fighters. And I look way faster at 47, way more explosive, way more durable.
Ryan Garcia is delivering unwavering effort in his training facility. And with Rolly Romero assisting him throughout practice sessions, collectively they are hunting his concentration, quickness, and self-assurance as he gears up for Mario Barrios.
Hey, go forward now. Yeah. Ahí, ándale, tipo, arriba, abajo y arriba. Arriba, abajo, eso. Adelante y atrás. Échale, hijo, 5 minutes here. And 1 and 1.
Ryan Garcia concentrates on quickness and strength during his preparation sessions, hunting abilities through unwavering, everyday dedication.
Stop! Una, dos, tres. Y luego 4 y 5. Las que están haciendo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y aquí. Ya. 3, 4, 5. Y ahora. After. 3, 4, 5.
Rolly Romero enters Ryan Garcia's preparation facility, fueling intensity daily, refining quickness, strength, and concentration through unwavering commitment. Ryan Garcia stresses the significance of encircling himself with uplifting, seasoned individuals in camp, maintaining his motivation and determination.
He's tired of feeling down that day. We're picking each other up.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We feel so good. We're in this together.
We're like the same person, different hair color.
It's just good to have like-minded people that are ready to take advantage of the opportunities, and we're not going to let it slip. We're all building our own legacy, and when we get in the ring, you guys are going to see something special.
Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, having practiced together previously, now work out side by side with shared admiration, encouraging one another's development every day.
Like that. Nice.
Mario Barrios stays self-assured, emphasizing his expertise and extended boxing tenure, asserting every edge over Ryan Garcia in this matchup.
The advantages I have coming to this fight is just overall just like everything. You know, my experience, you know, who I've been in the ring with, who I faced. I think, you know, the boxing IQ, I think I had that on my side. You know, heart. I think, yeah.
He does have experience.
Max Kellerman and Robert Garcia offered candid responses to the reveal of Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios and concentrated largely on Ryan's preparation circumstances rather than raw ability. They highlighted that Garcia is presently working alongside his father instead of prominent coaches like Eddie Reynoso, Derek James, or Joe Goosen. Robert Garcia clarified that Ryan's father mentored him through a solid amateur groundwork, so the expertise is legitimate, but he wondered why Garcia cycled through multiple top-tier trainers before coming back home. To him, that tendency indicates issues with discipline and leadership within camp.
Dad, which I'm not saying the dad is not, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer, before he came back to that, he went through 3 different trainers. Wow. That means all 3 are not good enough to, they're all 3 are the best in the world.
Here's the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not going to just let you get away with stuff like that. Derek James shouldn't either. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's going to be under my rules. Mm-hmm. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I keep that. Huh?
Kellerman posed a significant question regarding discipline. He pondered whether Garcia ever truly permitted those respected coaches to assume command, because elite trainers require regulations, responsibility, and steadiness. Fighters cannot merely select what they prefer to do daily. Robert mentioned that coaches like Reynoso or James already mentor champions and will not compromise standards for anybody. If a boxer cannot embrace that guidance, advancement becomes challenging. Both commentators indicated this unpredictability could provide Mario Barrios an advantage. Barrios is recognized for reliable preparation, stature, and ring expertise, and organization within camp may decide the fight's result in Barrios' favor.
To even pull that off.
See, that's the thing about boxing, and Big Baby Miller pointed it out, because there's no structure. And hopefully that'll happen with Zuffa Boxing, and I am a part of Zuffa Boxing, full disclosure. The first fight coming up on the 23rd.
Oh, congrats, man. Congrats,
but you need some kind of.
On that card,
there
so
you go.
Good.
You need some kind of.
Right.
So, the undercard has not been announced yet, but yeah, we could talk about
what his names, but yeah.
But we need some kind of structure. In the NFL, the guy has to sit there for the media interview. He shows up on time. Yep. He's got to do it. Yep. And to give you an NFL analogy, think about the Broncos, right? When they had Russell Wilson over there, and he had his own office and everything, and it was nothing. It was dysfunctional. Then they hired Sean Payton.
Cut it out.
As a coach, that's like going to train with Goosen or going to train with a world-class trainer, right? And you knew as soon as Sean Payton got there, no one's going to have their own office. And you turn around a couple years later.
Boxing commentator Wade Plemons delivered a considerate viewpoint on the forthcoming Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios showdown. He presented the age-old question, does a trainer create the fighter or does the fighter create the trainer? Plemons emphasized Joe Goosen's extensive history as a regarded boxing coach, acknowledging his capability to develop fighters, with Barrios currently training under Goosen. The commentator wondered whether the seasoned instructor could offer fresh techniques or perspectives that Barrios had not formerly gained from Bob Santos. Plemons also mentioned the fascination of Garcia's self-assurance, implying Ryan thinks he already comprehends what Barrios and his team plan to execute.
Interesting answer. I always wonder who makes a fighter, right? Especially in boxing, combat sports. Is it a coach that makes the fighter or the fighter that makes the coach? Now, Joe Goosen has a track record of being a high-level boxing coach. We know that. But do coaches change for fighters, or do they implement what they know to fighters and fighters change for coaches? Because this will be the crux of what happens here. Can Joe Goosen, not to call Mario Barrios old, but can he teach an old dog new tricks? Can he give him something that Bob Santos hasn't? Sure. Can he give him more info about what Ryan likes to do? Absolutely. But will it be enough to prepare him for what Ryan knows that Joe knows? And how Joe trains fighters, and how Joe runs a camp, and how rigid he might be. And even that last part, Ryan's talking about information leaking maybe from Joe, or that Joe was leaking information about Barrios, or about, I'm not sure who he was talking about Ryan, about Barrios, but Ryan.
He even suggested Garcia's assertions of possessing insider knowledge about Barrios' training, though the importance of such intel stays unclear. In the end, Plemons stressed that the bout is not solely about physical ability, but also about the connection between trainer and fighter. Can Goossen introduce new tactics to Barrios, or will Garcia's understanding of Goossen's approaches provide him the advantage? The commentary highlights how expertise, readiness, and the trainer-fighter relationship may influence outcomes when Garcia and Barrios ultimately clash in the ring.
Oh, the chaos in the corner, or not maybe chaos, but kind of misdirection in the corner of the Manny Pacquiao fight, where Bob Santos is saying one thing and other cornermen are saying, that are, a part of Mario's kind of OG team, are saying another. I think it's pretty well known that I would assume well known that Mario Barrios' dad used to train him, and I don't know if he was in the corner or it was somebody else, but there was a miscommunication, it seemed like, from even the people in the corner around the strategy of the Barrios fight or what they wanted to do against Manny Pacquiao. And let's just say I heard from sources there were a lot of frustrations that came out of that fight with how Barrios went into that fight, how he performed in that fight, and how directions were listened to from either one side or the other. It felt like it was a bit of a confusing thing. So when you have that kind of a situation, you feel like you need to make a move. One person's going to get left out in the dust, and it's probably not someone that's either one.
Ryan Garcia's coach spoke assuredly about his fighters' dedication and weight control, maintaining that this training period appears entirely different from before. He clarified that once Garcia commits mentally, everything else aligns. Shifting to the 140 lb category is a practical and solid option. He emphasized that Garcia can easily reach the limit without difficulty and still preserve power and stamina.
I mean, our strength and conditioning coach will lock it in, Ryan will lock it in, and we're back to 140. Solid. But that's a strong possibility. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And we talked about that.
It changes things.
Yeah. And I mean this. I mean this 100% sincerely, that we could make 140.
Because when you guys fought Haney, you guys were not necessarily you guys, but he was drinking, he was doing all these other things that...
Exactly. Yeah, forget about that and forget about the Rolly, because I'm telling you, that was not Ryan. This is Ryan. This is Ryan. You're going to see Ryan. This is going to be Ryan. And you're going to say, man, he looks good. His weight is good. And his strength is unbelievable.
The coach also acknowledged that during the Devin Haney fight preparation, Garcia was not entirely concentrated and permitted interruptions to impact his training. This time, however, the approach is keener and more disciplined. He thinks supporters will observe a trimmer physique, enhanced endurance, and dynamic strength on bout night. The crew even noted that 147 is not distant from 140. So scaling down without severe rehydration restrictions should not pose a challenge. Overall, the statement was unmistakable. A focused and committed Ryan Garcia has returned, and a more formidable version is prepared to compete at his peak.
Not too far off from 140. So there's a strong possibility without rehydration calls, we could probably drop down to 140 with no problem.
And make the fight happen at 40 instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then you guys can rehydrate whatever you guys want from there.
I mean, listen, this is another thing that I've been seeing, and this is kind of interesting, is that, yeah, you got to rehydrate, of course, absolutely. Now, how far you can rehydrate? I would love to be over 7, 8 pounds. Some go 10, some go 12, some even go 15, but they do rehydrate. But when you're in shape, in total fitness, I think the most you could hydrate is 7 or 8 pounds. I'm not kidding you. When you're in excellent shape.
Commentators warned supporters against interpreting too deeply into brief training footage of Ryan Garcia spreading online. A 15-second segment or even a 1-minute compilation cannot genuinely disclose how ready a fighter is for a 12-round battle. These clips are meticulously produced to display quickness, strength, and crisp sequences while hiding the harsher truths of camp, such as exhaustion, weight reduction, and stamina challenges. As a result, the material often delivers an unfinished portrayal.
10-second, 15-second clips, because Ryan very well could have had similar clips before the Rolly fight, but then he ends up losing to Rolly in New York. So for me, when I see sparring clips or brief edited clips online, I don't necessarily factor that in too much into what is to be the outcome. Because the fact of the matter is, for Mario Barrios, I haven't really seen many clips from him at all. So training footage is very selective by nature. You're usually going to see the best moments plucked out, highlights, specific drills, things that would make someone look good. They don't really tell the full story about conditioning, weight cutting, or readiness. But what it does or can give you is an overall, like a snapshot of where the fighter is mentally, physically. Ryan does look like he's in.
Commentators observed that Garcia looked remarkable in comparable footage before his defeat to Rolly Romero in New York. Yet the result inside the ring revealed a different narrative. That instance proves that highlights alone do not forecast fight outcomes. By comparison, very little training material of Mario Barrios has emerged, making direct evaluations even more challenging. Still, the clips provide a window into Garcia's mentality. He looks concentrated, conditioned, and determined about preparation. Mentally and physically, he appears more refined. However, Barrios remains a regarded and seasoned welterweight recognized for his toughness and stature. In the end, these segments are merely glimpses, not assurances. The genuine answers will arrive on bout night when preparation encounters reality, and both fighters must validate themselves in the ring.
Very much looking forward to the fight. I think Ryan Garcia really needs to impress here because he's coming off of a loss to Rolly Romero. And we all know in the world of boxing that back-to-back losses can really drive you down the ladder. So I am enjoying what I'm seeing regarding Ryan Garcia as he gears up for this particular fight. Ryan Garcia, his discipline has been in question in the past, but right now it looks like he's trying to really make a statement. He posted this via his official social media. This is Ryan's page, evident by the blue check mark. Quote, "Maybe you aren't my speed. Some shots throughout camp, the finish line is approaching."
Greatness in boxing is measured not solely by wins but by heritage. If Ryan Garcia achieves world champion status, the sport acquires a prominent figure capable of engaging fans both within and beyond boxing communities. Commentators contend that to maintain boxing's significance in 2026 and forward, we require elite names versus elite names, competitors whose personas connect with audiences. Garcia triumphing over Mario Barrios would invigorate younger demographics and generate fresh interest in American boxing.
Ryan Garcia does become a world champion. It just makes him more interesting. Legacy reigns supreme. I said the last year that coming into 2026, to sustain the sport of boxing, to captivate the imagination, the emotions, and the interest of the boxing fans and casuals outside of the sport of boxing, we need the names versus the names. Relevant versus relevant. We need people that people recognize. We need the fans to recognize these names and they will be interested. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios is good for the sport of boxing. It's good for this young generation because let's be real, let's be honest. Mario Barrios is not going to cut it in keeping the interest of the sport of boxing. He hasn't done it. He's been in big fights and he have not seized the moment. No, you Dennis Ugas, yeah, but it didn't seize the moment. We need interest. Ladies and gentlemen, American boxing is dying. A lot of people's not investing in American boxing. Let's be
Barrios, though seasoned, has failed to capture pivotal moments in previous high-stakes bouts. Garcia, in contrast, possesses widespread appeal that can draw casual supporters and backers back to the sport. Recent developments demonstrate that when prominent fighters clash for boxing to flourish, heritage must take precedence, and recognizable champions like Garcia are vital to rekindling enthusiasm and commitment in American boxing.
Netflix is just going to give you this events here and there. Maybe they'll give us Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao too. But at the end of the day, everybody has abandoned American boxing. And the only way we get these investors back into the American landscape, we got to do what we did out there at Madison Square Garden in New York City this past weekend when we saw Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez. Sold out crowd. Why was a sold out crowd? Because it was name versus a name. People recognize both names, tri-state area, right? Teofimo Lopez never did it sold out or even come close to selling out a big arena. Shakur Stevenson didn't come close to selling out even.
That wraps up today's video. Keep watching until next time.